No, not at all. No, we didn't even know we were nominated until yesterday. We were touring around in America and stuff, and someone just said you're nominated, so here we are. Yeah.
Very.
So we got 2. Yeah, it's quite good.
So who gets?
One's kind of like a Yeah, sorry. We've got one proper one and one kind of.
We're going to fight over them.
Yeah. Very good. Are there any questions for Muse? One right there.
Hi, this is from News Round at the BBC. Not many British acts got nominated or have won. How does it feel to be one of the few that did?
It feels great because we spent a lot of time touring in Europe in the early days especially, and it's really nice to get an award. We've won a couple of awards before, but only in England, you know, so it's nice to get something outside of there, something that's voted for by European people. I think it means a lot to us.
From the heavy, dark tones of showbiz to the melodic, classically inspired Absolution, Muse have proved themselves to be an ever-changing, constantly evolving musical force, not only on record, but also in their live performances.
It's got kind of bigger and more powerful. I mean, there are a few quiet moments on Absolution. You know, it is pretty much like, I mean, it's an album about the end of the world, so you can't really go out quietly now, can you?
I think the music's changed for the better. It's got obviously more melodic, and I just think they're a good bunch of lads, really.
I think with each record they push things further because they're very, very ambitious and very creative, and I think each time, at the moment, they're one of those bands that they just surprise you each time. It just gets bigger and better and more, you know, ridiculous and yet more brilliant at the same time.
They've just become better musicians as a whole, I think. You know, more open-minded about stuff. And
I think that's what it is. I mean, every time you play a gig, you always get better. I mean, even just to sit down and play your instrument, yeah, you're always progressing all the time, and I mean, they've done it well and they got up there.
For people who were at the early shows, they'd have definitely seen a complete... You wouldn't recognise Muse as a band sort of 3 or 4 years ago. They used to be there on stage and it was just them and a simple backdrop that said Muse on it.
I know that when they used to play live, they were pretty static. I mean, they still did the music perfectly. You know, there was no denying their talent, but apparently they were quite sort of like wooden on stage.
Very little kind of communication between him and the audience, between the songs. He was a fairly reluctant frontman back then. He wasn't really as into it as he seems to be now, but now the live shows are something else.
I mean, you can kind of get too excited, really. I mean, when you're on stage, you just look out at the audience and you kind of get this need to want to do something that everyone's going to get into. But so for that reason, I don't look at the crowd too much because it makes me go a little bit too berserk, you know, too quickly. So I try and I sort of just look at the crowd every now and again, and that's enough to keep me hyped up for at least 2 or 3 songs.
I think it was in between them going on tour with the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the States, and they suddenly got a taste of having to perform on a big stage. And when they came back, they just brought it all with them. And ever since then, it's been like watching, you know, like mini Hendrix on stage, you know, it really has. I mean, that is something that I really, really do like about the band, is that they work on record, they're one thing on record, and they are fantastic on record. But live, they're another universe.
I saw them at Glastonbury this year, and they really were like nothing else there, and they're massive, sort of almost like operatic sets. It just really is an amazing performance, and I just think because they have got quite a unique style that they'll probably, you know, they can just keep going and going.
The changes in their musical style have also been accompanied by changes in their image. Muse have progressed from makeup-wearing goths to their now established sleek and tailored look. They have now achieved a style and aura all of their own.
They have definitely changed image-wise as well. They've honed what they do. I mean, back in the late 90s when they were Rocket Baby dolls, I believe there was a period where they actually went through a goth phase with lipstick and covering songs by The Wedding Present and things like that.
The seeds of change were always there. They got the confidence through their live performances, and through that they got the confidence to pursue their own unique style. That, coupled with a very favourable audience reaction around the world, simply encouraged them more.
I remember some early press shots of Matt in sort of silvery lame shirts and rather questionable trousers, and you know, things have become slightly more sobered up now. But no, I think they do have a good style now.
They've become better dressed, I think. They used to
The red
dress horribly.
hair, I love that.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, when I see a video of him on Top of the Pops and Dom was on bass and Chris was on the drums, I mean...
And Matt's like miming the piano as well, doing that kind of thing. It's great.
It's great.
And someone comes on stage at the end, breakdancing or something. It's quite funny.
Muse are currently preparing for their next album, which is bound to take us on a completely new and exciting musical journey, as we have come to expect from such musical pioneers. The 3 teenage boys from the sleepy town of Teignmouth have taken the rock world by storm. Their talent and popularity continues to grow and shows no sign of stopping. Muse have only just begun.
In 5 years' time, I think they'll be in a position where most of the bands you see around at the moment that are sort of flavour of the month are not going to be. I think Muse are going to still be going, still going to be putting out really great, challenging records. At least they better be.
I think Muse are just going to get bigger and better. They're one of these bands where you could see a long-term career for them.
It's really good that an English band have made such a mark on the musical map, because American rock became the biggest currency for years. So to have a band that really can sound like the universe exploding, and one you can sing along to, I think, you know, that's something to be really proud of.
In my career, I suppose, as a tech, I was ready to give it all up. I was really bored because I was doing the same show in and out, and when I was doing Muse, nothing was ever the same. You know, every day was different. I do like what they do. I think they have an original sound. I think, you know, they're very forward-thinking musicians, and yeah, I think they've definitely got a sound that's developing in their own way.
I think Muse are just going to get bigger and better. It's hard to see where they're going to go with their live show, because I think they are just at their peak with what they're doing right now. It's a product of somebody who knows exactly what they're doing and what they want to do with their music. So it's hard to see where they're going to follow from there. I mean, they're now described as a prog rock band, a progressive band, but short of a Rick Wakeman escapade of ice skates and King Arthur on ice, it's quite hard to see where they're going to go without getting too. They're going to have to tread a fine line without it getting too pompous.
Muse have really broken the mould. They've broken the archetype of what people around the world think a British metal band should sound like. Their contribution is immeasurable. They have inspired and opened up the music to so many new bands who will really reap the benefits of what Muse have sown, if you like. That is their real contribution to music.
The hardest thing about any band that's doing something that sounds new is that once it's been done, it's no longer new. So therefore, you've got to try and develop your sound and keep it sounding new. If there were a band out there that could do it, they can probably do it.